This is really crazy, everyone. BlackRock, the world's richest firm, is buying billions of XRP Ripple currency. They're doing something brave while everyone else is freaking out. This is one of the most positive signs ever. Experts estimate that XRP might go up to $4,300. That's quite cool. Isn't that right? Don't let this chance pass you by. Let's go over it one step at a time. Disclaimer: the crypto world is buzzing again, and this time XRP is the center of attention. In the last few weeks, there have been whispers that BlackRock, the world's biggest asset management, would be working behind the scenes to get a stake in Ripple's XRP token. Posts on X have made people think. Crypto XAmen tweeted that BlackRock is secretly buying Ripple. Another tweet from Crypto Geek said that BlackRock is buying $9 trillion in XRP. Stevie then said that BlackRock is now officially in the game. There is no proof for any of these accusations, but the conjecture is so strong that investors are paying close attention. Why? If it's even partly true, it might have huge effects for XRP. One big question is at the center of all this excitement. Is there going to be an XRP ETF? And will BlackRock be the one to start it? You need to know what an ETF is before you can grasp why this is important. An ETF, or exchange-traded fund, is a regulated financial product that lets investors have exposure to an asset, like a stock, commodity, or cryptocurrency, without actually owning it. People who buy an XRP ETF are not buying XRP directly from a crypto exchange. Instead, they are buying shares of a fund that owns XRP for them. It's safer and easier, especially for traditional investors who don't want to deal with the hassle of managing wallets and private keys. Now, picture that BlackRock, the financial giant that owns more than $11 trillion in assets, is behind the ETF. Everything changed when BlackRock asked for a Bitcoin ETF. Institutional investors who had been waiting on the sidelines suddenly had a safe way to get into the market. The price of Bitcoin went through the roof. The same thing happened when BlackRock got into Ethereum. Because the company is known for following the rules and having a long-term strategy, what it does sends a message to the rest of the financial world. If BlackRock established an XRP ETF, it would make XRP a real thing in a manner that few other things could. There hasn't been an official filing with the SEC, a press release, or any clear proof that BlackRock is working on an XRP ETF. But the rumor alone has given the XRP community hope, and for good reason. Ripple's protracted legal fight with the SEC is mostly finished. Courts have determined that XRP is not a security when it is sold on public exchanges. That decision made it possible for institutional interest to come back, but there is still a lot of confusion about the rules. BlackRock is known for being careful and strategic, so they might be waiting for the last bits of information before acting. BlackRock hasn't said anything, but other participants have. Grayscale, 21 shares, and Franklin Templeton have all registered or hinted at wanting to start XRP-related ETFs. As expected, the SEC has been sluggish to reply, putting off judgments and showing that they are still not entirely on board with XRP. The curiosity is still growing, and the pressure is still rising. If BlackRock got involved, it could have huge effects. Aside from speculation, it's important to think about what might happen if BlackRock really did pull the trigger. First, it would make it possible for regular investors to buy XRP on sites like Fidelity or Charles Schwab. You don't have to touch a crypto exchange. Second, the influx of institutional money that generally comes after ETF launches would make XRP more liquid and keep its price stable. Third, it would greatly increase people's faith in XRP's future. An ETF would also help connect crypto and regular finance. Most individuals don't want to bother with cold wallets, seed words, or figuring out how to use decentralized systems. ETFs fix that. They put crypto into something that people know, is regulated, and is safe. That's why the notion of an XRP ETF is so fascinating. It would be good for investors and for the long-term use of digital assets. And, of course, experts are already saying that XRP's price will go up a lot in the future. You may trust me when I say that you are not ready for what is coming next. This could be the largest change XRP has ever seen if Blackrock gets involved. The game is shifting quickly, and what happens next can blow your mind. Let me show you exactly why XRP might be about to do something big. So, if you scroll through X, you'll see entries that sound more like predictions than real posts. Steph wrote that XRP is going to skyrocket. Another user, Echo, said with confidence that XRP will beat Bitcoin. And then there's the shockwave that comes from Aminix's prediction. 4,300 XRP is now a serious possibility. At first, these sound like the standard crypto hype. But more and more people are starting to think that this time things might be different. King Kuran and Xena XRP, two well-known people in the XRP community, recently had a chat that got a lot of people talking. King Kuran asked a daring question. Do you truly think XRP can reach $10,000? It's a question that seems silly at first, but the answer makes sense. Xena XRP didn't think twice. She didn't merely think it was true. She claimed she was aware of it. She was sure of herself since she had done it before. She reminded everyone that people laughed when they said Bitcoin would reach $1 million. The same people who thought it wouldn't even reach $1,000. But here we are. Bitcoin didn't stop at four numbers. Ethereum was worth $5 at one point, but now it's worth hundreds of billions as a worldwide computing platform. These were also insane predictions at one point. She said she had acquired Bitcoin for $200 and Ethereum for $5. Back then, the naysayers were loud. The doubt was always there, but the rewards? It changed my life. And now she sees the same thing happening again, this time with XRP. And her opinion isn't based only on feelings. Xena pointed to Ripple's environment and hinted at something deeper and more mysterious. She said, Bearable Guy 123, an unidentified person who many thought was linked to Ripple's leadership. Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, follows him. David Schwartz, the former CTO, also did this. These aren't just casual follows. They are signs. And what has Bearable Person 123 been saying for years? Keep going. The well-known number is $5.08. For someone who don't know, it can look like simply another dream price objective that never came true. For someone who have held XRP for a long time, though, $5.08 is more than just a figure. It's part of a bigger mystery that people who work with Ripple seem to know about and maybe even believe in. Xena asks, what else would they talk about it? A choice is at the heart of her argument. Do you believe the naysayers about X or the builders who made XRP? Arthur Brito, one of Ripple's hard-to-find co-founders, once suggested that XRP was meant to hit 10,000. Even if that's off by a factor of 10, the meaning is apparent.